All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the ERSCA series, Belly Up Sports. Best Belly Up Sports ERSCA series. Here we go with Martinsville. Another race here on the ERSCA season. Once again, want to thank Carlos and 3 White TV for bringing you all the behind-the-scenes production. David Westergreen will join me in the booth here in just a minute. Dom Santino on the call here tonight, as always. I believe we're in the middle of qualifying right now as it stands. Whitley, you're quickest right now in qualifying. Jared Rexing sitting in second. Chad Baer. I feel like it's been a few weeks since we've seen Chad Baer out here. He's currently third quickest. Ryan Lutz in fifth. As things start to settle in here. Kwame Scott goes to the top of the charts. A lot of momentum rolling for the 99 right now, as he was your first repeat winner of the 2022 season last week. Even with changing over to the Xfinity car here last week for the first race of the 2022 season, picks up the win. We had 7 winners in 7 weeks. Scott changed that last week. In week 8, we're into our 9th race of the season here. Gary and Turner cracks the top 10. He slots into the 8th position. Joe Francis, Austin Beers rounded out. Seth Rawls in 7th. Indy Trupiano, Indy 4th. Qualifying kind of wrapping up here. A lot of cars getting their qualifying runs in. Steinmiller taking his run as well right now. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I mentioned last week was the first race since changing over to the Xfinity car or the B car, and this is going to be the first short track test we're going to have since making that switch. We'll see how the drivers handle it. I think we just had a couple cautions, just a handful last week. Most of them actually kind of came in the closing 20, 30 laps as the aggression started ramping up. Looking at a few cars here. Looks like Zishan Dura in the 10. Making his qualifying lap. No one able to top Kwame Scott so far. Damian Leininger put in a honest try. He sits in at second. Could be a good night for the 12 car. He's been needing a solid run.
We live.
Closing in on into qualifying. Yes, hi David, we are live. Welcome into the booth. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. We I don't know if you're gonna notice an influx of people, but the other race just ended. That everybody, a bunch of people are gonna be at. So hopefully they make it in time.
Well, Kwame Scott and Damian Leininger are your 2 quickest in qualifying here so far, and I think it's getting ready to end. So, gonna be a good starting spot for those 2.
It will be. Those Apex Sim Racing cars are very, very good at the short tracks. We've definitely seen Damian and Ryan Lutz both run up front at Martinsville before and in this car. So I kind of expect those guys to be 2 of the guys heading up the front of the field all day today.
All right. Well, they do this quick little heat race to finish up our starting grid. We're going to bring in a few drivers. So, David, we want to bring in our pole sitter from our pole sitter this week and our winner from last week.
Yes. Who's our pole sitter? Kwame Scott. Let's bring him up. Kwame Scott, it's David in the TV booth. You got me? He might have left to get a beverage or something. We'll send him back. Who else should we bring up? Should we bring up Damien?
I was going to say, how about bring up number 2, Damien, see what he's thinking for tonight. See if we can get that momentum rolling in the right direction tonight.
Damien Leininger. It's David in the TV if you got me.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is not going to go well, is it?
Well, all right. We'll call you he who shall not be named.
Okay.
No, Damien, we figured out a pretty good solution last week. We would just say what position you were in, not necessarily who you were. It seemed to work out pretty well for a while.
I saw that. It was pretty funny. I was laughing the whole time, but now we're mentioning pre-race. It's not going to go well, is it?
It's pre-race though. This has nothing to do with the real race. You should be fine.
Oh yeah, fine.
This is a track notorious for green flag runs and clean racing.
Absolutely. Yep.
What are your chances tonight coming from P2?
Got a long way to battle through the field to get up there and lead some laps, but no, Martinsville's one of my favorite tracks, probably my second best track on the game. So hopefully I can stay up here, stay out of trouble, get some points. I need to start making the climb before the chase starts if I want to get into it. So I think we're 24th or 23rd in points right now. So need some strong runs, and we're going to a couple tracks back to back where hopefully I can be pretty good at.
Sounds good, man. Good luck with this one, and yeah, we'll keep the car number out of our mouth. We might just call. We'll do our best.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, but chaos will ensue.
Chaos will ensue. 10-4. Thank you, Damien.
Yeah.
Why don't you get one here, Dom?
All right, I can do that. Let's go with... Who do we want to bring up, David? I'll interview him, but who do we want to bring up?
What about Jared Rexon? I don't know where he's starting. I'm not in there yet.
I think he had a pretty good qualifying run. He was up towards the top. I think he's definitely got a top 10. I don't remember exactly where he ended up finishing, but definitely had at least the top 10 starting spot in here. Bring him on. Jared Rexing, Dom up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Seemed like you had a pretty solid qualifying run there tonight. What do you think you have for the rest of the field out here?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect to qualify that good, to be honest with you. Well, Martinsville's going to Martinsville. Hopefully I can just keep it clean and keep it up front. That's all I got.
Yeah, tempers can definitely fly here tonight. Got to be patient out there. We wish you all the best here. I think we're about ready to go green. I don't think, unless David has any other questions you want to ask it, we'll probably let you go here.
Good luck tonight, Jared.
All right, thanks, guys. Hope put on a good show for you.
All right, we'll let Jared go.
He's
Get ready to go racing.
Right, I'll send him back there. All right. Martinsville, I'm loading it in.
We're getting ready to start to grid out here for this one. We will give you the starting lineup. On the front row, Kwame Scott and Damien Leininger. Mark Whitley and Jared Rexing slots into fourth. I know he was up there in the second spot at some point, but he slots into fourth, so he'll start on the outside of row number 2. Trupiano and Heater in row number 3. Chad Bear, Hank Steinmiller in row 4, and Ryan Lutz and Jared Mogard round out your top 10. Looking through some of the rest, Tate Lytle and Nick Massey in row number 6. Matthew Bayuk will start 14th. Ethan Burrell 15th. Cameron Rich will start in 17th.
Ethan Burrell coming over from the elite race tonight. He is not going to have any practice here at Martinsville, so putting in a 15th place lap is pretty good.
Zishan Durr will start 22nd. Nick Delicato will start 24th.
Josh Adams, another one of those guys, starting that elite race, and he'll start way back in the field now, 37th.
Matthew Weeks back there as well. He'll start 34th.
Adams starting from pit road. So Adam Lichty doesn't grid. Josh Adams way in the back. Same for Vincent Isabella, Gerald Campbell, Matthew Weeks. A lot of kind of harder hitters. Scott Crump starting 33rd. He just came from that other race as well. Definitely going to be chaos here early going in Martinsville because you need track position. Desperately bad.
All right, we got maybe just a split second. Do we want to make a quick pick here before we go green?
Yes. Give me Hank Steinmiller.
All right, I'm going Kwame Scott. He's got a lot of momentum, and he's got the pole here tonight.
I'm going Cameron Ridge. Green flag.
Green flag is out.
And
the yellow
caution.
flag is out instantly. Shocking absolutely no one. Not entirely sure what happened there.
Maybe just not a clean restart or clean start. I don't know.
This is going to be a nightmare for race control, though, because the caution came up before all the cars had crossed the line. Some cars are going to be a lap down because of that, so this is going to be a lot like Rockingham.
Huh.
Showing Josh Adams coming off pit road.
Well, we did have a car spin. Not quite sure who it was. Dylan Thomas? Looks like Dylan Thomas spun.
Ah. He's way in the back now. He's got a good bit of damage on the rear of that car.
Just lost it. Nothing. Just went into the corner, back end wiped out, washed out on him, and he hit the outside wall there at that right corner. So
Almost like Dylan was restarting from first gear, but I mean, he gassed it up there and it just did not go.
Bradley Roden is choosing the number 77 for tonight's race.
Good choice, Mark Whitley's P3.
he had the pole early on in qualifying until Leininger and Scott came on the track.
Mommy's led every lap early in this one. Looks like Martinsville is okay with not lapping cars down before they hit the start-finish line, so we're okay now. I'm a little surprised Ryan Lutz qualified back in 10th. You know, that's a guy who really loves this racetrack, and I don't think he won the last time we were here. He might have, but the 36 car is one of those guys that I look for at these short tracks, and I look for him to make his way to the front here. As you know, last week he kind of got some bad luck. Wasn't able to capitalize on a very fast car. He ended up 5th, which is still a good point today. Got the halfway points, but he's definitely going to be looking for more here tonight, I think. Oh yeah, it's going to be the wave rounds here, so it did keep those cars one lap down. Matthew Weeks, Scott Crump, Gerald Campbell, all these guys going to get the wave around and end up back on the back end of the lead lap, which is the right call by race control. looks like 15th on back was held up behind the pace car. Johnny Eckert, our race control director, doing a great job keeping everything going. They are delaying the caution a little bit.
Rightly so, getting everybody lined back up. Looks like Kwame Scott's going to go to the outside here on the restart.
That's an interesting strategy, but if he's getting the jump, I don't think it really matters because he'll be able to drop down in front of Damian Leininger and clear and run that bottom lane, because the bottom lane at Martinsville is the preferred groove. I think you can hold it up top, but I think your tires will go away if you try to. And yeah, Kwame's adjusting to the bottom now. It's risky, because if you give up that top lane or that bottom lane, then you could just fall back.
Yeah, I was going to say, you definitely leave the door open to get freight trained and lose quite a few spots. Guys get nose to tail there on the bottom line.
Like we are going green now, I believe. Yep, pace car is in. Kwame Scott, Damian Leininger, the front row. Kwame waited really long time to let him go here. Mark Whitley's looking underneath Damian Leininger, and the caution is out again. I'm not convinced everybody made it across the line this time. And a big crash on the front straightaway. 2 shift cars.
Joe Francis,
And
that's in Delicato.
Delicato, our points leader. Is that Scott Crump in the Toyota there, the white one?
I believe it is.
Nope, Crump is in the different one. Ryan Lutz is going backwards.
All right.
That's not good either. Joe Francis was involved in that.
Francis almost just nailed him again.
A lot of damage in the back of the field here. Let's take a look at the replay. Oh, right there. Tate Lytle got into Ryan Lutz. Nick Massey's involved.
That's going to be heavy damage.
Aaron Turner. That's a lot of cars. Austin Beers in the 64. Wow.
Pretty good backwards driving skills, though, here from Lutz.
A sarcastic remark from Andy Trupiano saying, I blame the car.
What David, what you got here, Hank? I kind of led into this. This is a good test, right? I don't remember where we were, but we did have a short track race. Don't quote me on that one, but with the COT car, and that kind of was the ultimate end to it. Johnny decided to, I think we had 20 some cautions. That was the end of it. We're going to go to this Xfinity car. Well, this is going to be the test right here, right? We had talks with Johnny of, is it the drivers? Is it the car? What is it going to be? And this short track's really going to show it. I mean, obviously there's going to be cautions in general, but it's just how well do they get through this race.
Tell you what, and that's a hell of a move by Seth Rawls, by the way, to sneak through that. Zishanduro was involved. I don't think we mentioned his name. You're absolutely right, but I tell you what, I've watched a lot of races at Martinsville. I've broadcasted races at Martinsville. I've ran in races at Martinsville. I have never, ever watched a race go super green at Martinsville. It has been a caution fest every single time, whether it be because of net code and the different braking points of different drivers, and just there's a lack of feel, I suppose, for short tracks, combined with the lack of response from the bumping of the cars into each other, where instead of, stability, even when you get bumped, it jerks the car out of your hand. Like right there, Ryan Lutz gets, he's one of the most steady-handed, best drivers on the track right now. I mean, he's obviously won the championship last year, and one small bump sends him hurtling across the track into our other champion. That's not on the drivers, that's on iRacing, it's on this track, and it's really one of those things that I only ever tend to see at Martinsville. It happens at other short tracks, but this one is just the main culprit. Like, I really can't recall a Martinsville race that didn't have 20 cautions. And I expect that we're already on pace for it tonight, and I expect we're going to head on to that pace. Johnny Eckert has extended the caution by 1 lap here.
Yeah, I believe Ryan Lutz got caught a lap down there, so they're going to let him get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, pace car will pop back out. lead him around again, then let him go, I believe. And if you're Damian Leininger, Kwame Scott, Mark Whitley, Jared Rexing, you know, you want to go green, but it sure is nice to have qualified up front and be dodging all these wrecks.
Yeah, we've gone basically 12 laps under caution already.
We'll see if Kwame and Damian can bring them down and get things going here without any further incident.
I feel like once we get started, we might be able to get a little bit of a stretch in here.
They're off again. Field checks up, but I think everybody keeps it straight and will actually make the first corner. Battle a single out through the first 5. Hank Steinmiller going after James Heater for 6th. He makes that diving move onto the inside. He's got the preferred line in that 63 car. And he'll almost clear Heater off the corner, and I think he will entering turn 1. Jared
There we
Mogard will
go.
now slide underneath James Heater as Hank Steinmiller moves to 6th.
Made a lap under green here, looking to complete lap number 2 here on this stretch.
See if we can make one more. Heater trying to get around Mogard. He can't seem to clear him down, and Heater is stuck on the outside. Mogard underneath. Chad Bear will follow suit. Tate Lytle is underneath Wesley Crump behind them.
Yeah, Lytle trying to get on the move here. Cameron Rich in there as well, trying to follow Lytle through.
Cameron Rich got obliterated early in last week's race. I'm looking for him to have a rebound race. Get Carlos a good run for his pick here. That 47 car's hunting victory lane. He's been all over it all season long. Let's see if he can get there. He's pretty good at these short tracks. Still a good battle between... Yeah, go ahead.
No, you called it right there, David. I was going to say the exact same thing. Heater and Mogard still side by side battling for this position.
I'll tell you, and here comes Cameron Rich on Tate Lytle. I would not want to run that top lane right now, man. That'll just obliterate your tires trying to get off the corner and keep pace with that car on the bottom as you see Heater finally ceding the spot to Mogard, and now Chad Bear jumps underneath in the Robbie Gordon Jim Beam paint scheme. Rich right behind, and Heater will finally fall in. Fell a number of spots. I believe Heater qualified 5th, and he's all the way down to 9th.
Well, they were doing battle. That's allowed the front 6 to pull away and gap the field just a little bit. And here comes Steinmiller under Trupiano, and we got our 3rd caution of the night.
Yep, a big shocker there. I see a couple of slow shift cars. 29 of Matthew Bayuk. He might have gotten spun out from the mid front of that pack. That's kind of what we were looking at there.
Maybe my hand
Right
involved
here.
in this as well.
That's Zishan Dura behind. And yeah, big net code there, although Dura was a little bit harsh on the brakes, I think, and looped it. Dallas my hand in there as well. Bayuk already a lap down, definitely not having the best of days for the 29 car. None of those Shift Esports cars are really having a good day except for Seth Rawls, who was up here in 12th. They had an eventful race last week, so definitely looking to rebound, but it hasn't started the way they would have wanted. Zishan from a little far back, but Bayou gives him room. You know, this really shouldn't be a wreck. And yeah, net code there between the 10 and the 29. But we had a little bit of a run, and I think just about everybody stayed out. Mostly probably people with... Oh, Cameron Rich hits pit road. Interesting. I would not have gone onto pit road for any reason until I ran out of fuel, or until people started passing me. Because you get caught up in the wrecks, it will snowball your race dramatically. But if you hang out up front, the caution laps click off, and you can just wait and wait for a time when everybody has to come down pit road, and just come with them.
Josh Adams also came down pit road.
Yeah, I think Adams has been bumped into a couple of times tonight. Ryan Lutz has been bumped into a couple times tonight. He's on pit road again. And these guys got to be careful. I mean, it's going to be very easy to lose a lap or more under caution because this track is so small. Everything happens really quickly. And even these caution laps are not going to afford these guys a whole lot of time to fix heavily damaged race cars.
And
Delicado's on pit road again.
You gotta be careful not to speed on pit road trying to beat that pace car out too.
Yep, and yep, Garen Turner goes a lap down right there, and that's the danger right now of trying to get your car fixed is you're going to go a lap down to the leaders, and it's going to be all that much more difficult to make it back up. Ryan Lutz is doing a good job hanging back on the lead lap. Nick Massey's still on the lead lap as well, and those guys have come down pit road multiple times trying to fix the damage on their race cars. I do want to talk briefly about Kwame Scott here while he's in the lead as we get the one to go. When you're on, man, you are just on. I don't recall Kwame being one of the better short track cars last year. He might have been up front in this race last year and gotten dumped near the end. But, you know, this is just rather impressive that he won a race at Atlanta. We switched over cars to a car that he did not win a race in last year, won last week, and here he is in the lead.
Yeah, he's definitely got things rolling in the right direction, how big confidence can be. And he's up there in the points as well. I think he might be sitting second in points right now. Green flag in the air, and he's going to lead us back to green here on lap 27.
And he comes across Mark Whitley's nose. That's what you have to do with these short tracks to keep that track position. And Damian was definitely taking it easy on his tires, was not pushing up off the corners, and he was letting Kwame get away a little bit in the last run. We'll see if he lets him have that same kind of distance this time through. Might not be his choice. Mark Whitley coming after him, Jared Rexing following suit. And Hank Steinmiller is up top, being pressured by Jared Mogard.
So, David, I got a question for you. If you are Damian or Kwame or any of the rest of the guys, would you conserve tires so that way you have to pit less to put yourself back in traffic less? Or would you go harder knowing that you're probably not going to get a big run that may not really affect your tires too much?
I'm trying to hold my tires as much as possible and not obliterate them too much. Just Hank Steinmiller's maybe not taking that advice and trying to get this spot on Andy Trupiano. But he's got a good run, and this is the strongest anyone's looked on the outside. Hank might clear Trupiano here. He does. I would say I would definitely hold off on using my tires a lot. Do my best to conserve and make sure that they're good for 100-plus laps. I do not want to be back in the field, I can tell you that.
So it's more of a save tires to pit less than save tires for a long green flag stretch.
Exactly. Seth Rawls just about wrecked off turn 4 right there. Wesley Crump got underneath him. I believe that's Robert Hill in the 05 right behind. And then Matthew Weeks has clawed his way forward from 34th all the way to 14th already.
Single file now through the top 10.
First battle is way back in the field around Johnny Thomas.
You can kind of see that same thing we saw in the first green flag stretch. Kwame Scott starting to gap Leininger just a little bit, and it seems like Whitley and Rexing here might be thinking about starting to be a little more aggressive here around Damian. It feels like they might be being held off just a little bit.
Whitley just got bumped into by Jared Rexing off of that corner, and that gave Leininger a good bit of space. Now Rexing going to go after Whitley. He'll think better of it, and I think that's a good decision by Jared Rexing. Definitely one of those guys who's been a smart driver all year long. I don't think he's been involved in a whole lot of like off and on skirmishes. He's really just been solid, got caught up in a few mishaps that were not his own doing, and you know, he's been there, nearly won a couple of races, and here he is in 4th again tonight. Just having a good, solid season. Steinmiller passed Trupiano on the outside and has run down this front group. My pick definitely looking a little bit racy tonight.
Closing in here might be in contention to start battling with these guys within a couple of laps.
Rolls back underneath. Wesley Crump back in the field. First side-by-side battle on track. And the progress of Cameron Rich, who came to get tires. He is 22nd. Not moving forward the way you would want to, I don't think, but I think Cameron Rich did that because he's now poised to stay out the next time the caution comes out in the leader's pit, and he can just, you know, maybe stay out the rest of the race from there, if there's a lot of caution laps. Robert Hill going after Wesley Crump. Did we ever confirm that Wesley Crump is related to Scott Crump?
I'm not quite sure.
I'm pretty sure he is. I'm willing to bet.
I would have to agree with you there, just based on it being ERSCA and Scott running in here for the last couple of years, but I'm sure we could find out probably for next week, for sure.
Next time we get Scott Crump in the interview booth, we'll figure it out, I think. You know, one other thing I was going to say, we could just pull Wesley Crump up and ask him himself. Give Wesley an interview next time we have a caution. I think that's a good idea.
That is true.
Johnny Thomas is caught on the outside way back in the field. He's going to lose several spots to some of the guys on fresher tires, including Scott Crump himself, Cameron Rich, Ryan Lutz. Laps have come and gone, and we finally have what seems like a green flag run here at Martinsville. I say that we're going to get a caution in about 10 seconds, but
yeah, it did seem like we just need to get things settled out there off the start. And once we could get started, we kind of got into a groove here. And now drivers can really find that rhythm here at Martinsville that hopefully can let us stretch us out a little bit. But as tires wear, I think we'll definitely see some cautions pile up once again.
Yeah, what really, you know, concerns me with the way this season has gone in this league is when the caution does come out eventually here, it's really we're gonna snowball the cautions because guys just start getting aggressive on those starts like we saw already in this one, and you know, when they can get their rhythm, we could see green flag racing all the way to the end. We genuinely could, but the minute that first caution hits here, it could be a bloodbath.
Seems like Damien's got that rhythm down a little bit. It may not be very big, but it seems like he might just be clicking off just millimeters of a second here on Kwame Scott. That gap might just be ever so slightly closing in.
Now, it's interesting. We're on board with Mark Whitley, and I think one of the things that you can watch here is the different driving styles of two of our top 3 competitors. Damian Leininger is backing up the corner. Mark Whitley is attacking the corner, and you're seeing that by, Mark Whitley very nearly bumping into the rear bumper of Damian Leininger. But you're watching Leininger drive away down the straightaways, back the corner up much further back than Whitley, and Whitley drives it in deep, almost bumps into the back of the 12 car, and then the 12 car beats him off the corner each time. That's 2 different approaches to driving this track, and Damian's definitely a little more conservative, but Mark is definitely a little bit faster right now. They're going to come up on lap traffic here pretty soon. Kwame Scott starting to kind of reel in the back of the field. They're on the same straightaway now. And
that's
Kwame,
one of the Shift Esports cars, I believe. That'll be the first one up that they're going to encounter.
It's Matthew Bayuk, who has already had a bit of a miserable night. And there's the caution. So never mind on that. And Gerald Campbell is spun around in the middle of turns 3 and 4. That was really cool, though. We got to sit on board with Whitley and Leininger and see just kind of that differing strategy of running, hard into the corner and kind of abusing the right front tire a little bit and taking it easy into the corner and maybe abusing the rear tires a little bit more coming off. But everybody's coming down pit road here as, Campbell just wiped it out. Too much beans, says Carlos, his patented phrase for overcooking the tires and spinning out. Everybody's on pit road at this moment. Ethan Burrell is the first one who stays out, and I knew some people would. We'll see if anybody besides Ethan stays out.
That's a guy looking for some momentum to go back his direction. He had such a strong regular season last year. Just hasn't won, I think, with a COT car, and just hasn't had things go his direction so far this season.
He was first off pit road. Looks like Kwame Scott retains that first position. In fact, they're exactly how they came in.
Yep.
all the
No
way back
changes.
through Tate Lytle. No change. But that will be behind Ethan Burrell among more.
Nick Massey stayed out.
Yep. Joe Francis stayed out, but I think that car is a lap down. Well, Francis is a lap down, and Campbell obviously spun out. He's a lap down. He'll get the wave around. Burrell and Massey going to try to stay up there on older tires, and that could wreak some havoc to the front group. It'll be the first time Kwame Scott's been behind anybody. We did want to talk to Crump, though this caution has been a little more eventful than I was anticipating. So we've got two guys up here that are on older tires. Could bring him up, though. Let's see. Ooh, bad. There we go. Wesley Crump, David in the TV booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Wesley, well, just from your accent, you sound like Scott, but are you related to Scott Crump? We got to ask.
Yes, sir. I'm his older brother.
Ah, got some brothers here in ERSCA. It's a family affair after all. Well, are you enjoying it? I know you're brand new.
Yeah, I'm having a good time with it. I'm trying to fit in with these guys, put up a good run, and not get too dirty with them.
Well, that's good, man. I think you've accomplished that goal so far. A couple of pretty successful races, and it's Martinsville, so I'm sure you're going to get bumped into here from time to time. But good luck out there tonight, and thanks for answering our question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good evening.
That was Wesley Crump, the older brother of Scott Crump. What do you know about that?
There you go. I guess we got our question answered. And we were right. There was a relation somewhere.
Figured there would be. Now, Gerald Campbell will get his lap back here. They're going to have to throw the caution one more time, I think. Gerald's still hanging out in front of the pace car. Or they're just going to go with it.
We're going to go green.
Gerald Campbell out in front, I suppose. Mark Whitley's going to get after Damian Leininger. Whitley spins it. He pins it under Leininger. And that'll be the caution, and that might... That's it.
Chad Bear.
Wow.
Chad Bear just got some contact when Whitley spun it back around.
Mark Whitley overcooks it entering turn 2. That is exactly what Gerald Campbell needed, who now gets back in the lead lap. A very strange start there. Not sure why Campbell didn't get the wave before. But we re-rack him, and I don't think that anybody was particularly harmed except for maybe Chad Bear. Whitley overcooks it, skids sideways. Bear's gonna just give him a little bit of contact in the left rear. I don't think that's gonna harm either of these cars at this racetrack. You can beat and bang at Martinsville a ton. Whitley was just trying to get underneath that 12 car and overcooks it and almost wipes everything out. And then doesn't. I'm trying to see if we add Chad Bear in on Discord. It doesn't look like we do. He would have been a good one to get.
All right, now we will get a fair shot at it with Ethan Burrell and Kwame Scott up front.
Yeah, without the little bit of confusion there with Gerald Campbell being out in front. The re-rack, Ethan Burrell still the race leader. The first lead change occurring there when he stayed out. Kwame Scott pitted. Kwame is second. He has been the pole sitter in the dominant car so far today. Nick Massey is third, got collected in a first lap wreck. Has rebounded via pit strategy by not pitting last time through. Damian Leininger is fourth. Andy Trupiano fifth. Jared Rexing is sixth. Mark Whitley is not pitting and I believe just hanging out in seventh. Chad Bear eighth. Neither of them pitting after that damage was accrued. Jared Mogard ninth and Seth Rawls is 10th.
Well, we've hit a quarter of the way through the race. Maybe 15 to 20 of those have been under green.
Oh, we did get some good green flag laps there, and enough that some of these guys have been able to pick their way through the field. Vincent Isabella started 36th. He's up to 13th. And I know because Vincent and I are teammates over in Elite, and he was worried he wouldn't even make it into the race. Had 0 practice laps, and he's already driven to 13th. He finished 5th last week too, didn't he? Or 4th last week? So, strong runs from that 15 car. Ryan Lutz has continued to pit for damage, requesting black flag clears, and he's just had a miserable night in that 36 car, man. I tell you what, for Ryan Lutz, if it doesn't go amazingly well, it seems to be going poorly to the maximum this season. Also, Hank Steinmiller is 27th, and I think he must have sped on pit road. Tate Lytle is 28th, so either they came down pit road or they have been penalized back there. Either way, a couple of very fast cars way in the back and in the danger zone.
All right, getting ready to go back to green.
Burrell jumps a little earlier than Kwame Scott was.
Damian dives underneath.
Yep, and he's going to get a shot at getting Kwame Scott here. Kwame pushes up the track. Battle between the cars with tires is for second. Leininger's got the preferred line, but can Kwame hold him off up top? Rexing going around Nick Massey for that 4th position on the high side. Kwame holds off Damian.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's working out too well for Nick at the moment. We'll see how Ethan can hold off Kwame. His tires might not be working out to their advantage so far.
I've seen 4 different people hit in the back of the field so far. The green flag run here might be short-lived.
I think Kwame just used the bumper there on Ethan just a little bit, gave him a little love
There it is.
tap
Caution's
last
out. Josh Adams, Wyatt Nadel, Dylan Thomas involved, right in front of Hank Steinmiller and Tate Lytle. I think both of them dodged a bullet there. The battle was heating back up for second again. Leininger was going after Scott. Nadel overcooks it, exiting the corner. Oh, Hank Steinmiller's going to have some damage. Oh, no, wait, that was Dylan Thomas. Those purple cars are very similar. This looks just like what Dylan Thomas did to start the race. Clears Adams, Johnny Thomas involved, Cooper Johnson involved.
Johnny got a little help.
The second incident for Dylan Thomas. This time he's an innocent bystander as someone else copies his move from the start of the race. Oh, now he gets Adams too. That 03 car is hurting for sure. Yeah, few takers to pit road, mostly damaged cars that have been on pit road all day, but the main guy that comes down pit road is Ethan Burrell from the race lead. He's satisfied with his time up there and heading to the back now before he gets booted out of the way. That turns the lead back over to Kwame Scott.
Maybe just want to pick up a couple bonus points there.
I think so. I think this affords Ethan the opportunity to stay out again later in the race. Just keeping himself off sequence with the leaders seems like a smart move, and a move that Ethan would definitely pull, given that his car is maybe not fully there. It's got a little bit of nose damage, so Ethan trying to play strategy, and that's smart. Progress from some other guys. Cameron Rich is up to 16th. The hard chargers, Vincent Isabella and Matthew Weeks, are 12th and 14th respectively from 34th and 36th. Tate Lytle and Hank Steinmiller are 22nd and 23rd after pit stops there and everything shaking out. Ryan Lutz is now 3 laps down, and it's not getting better for Ryan Lutz.
He's definitely going to need some major help here tonight.
He will, and the beauty of it is that this race is far from over, and the cautions are far from over. Ryan Lutz could very easily get enough lucky dogs to get back in the lead lap from here. He'll just need to He'll need some good fortune. Josh Adams is now the first car 1 lap down. He's the only car 1 lap down, so Ryan Lutz will need at least 2 cautions before he can start getting those laps back. Here we go. Kwame Scott, Damian Leininger up front. Kwame back out in the lead, and he went very late the first couple of starts that he ran. So let's see if he can do that again, or if he
go
does
late
that again.
Gonna make him wait.
And that's an easy way to get a stack up in an early wreck. Leininger cuts to the bottom once again, and Rexing now holds third. Trupiano trying to take fourth from Nick Massey.
And it's Mogard to the inside of Whitley. 2 by 2 there. Around the top 5.
Nick Massey just trying to stay out of the way a little bit. Older tires and on top of a damaged race car.
So
But you never know.
Whitley just did the complete opposite entry into the corner than what we saw when we were riding on board with him. He backed up the corner and almost got ran over from behind by Mogard.
He learned a little something there, especially coming after the overcooking the car and wrecking it. You know, he's probably trying to take it a little bit easier and baby those rear tires that he slid. Side by side, middle of the pack, Chad Bear trying to go around the outside of Seth Rawls. Back here, Scott Crump, Chris Worrell, Austin Beers, almost getting into each other. Vincent Isabella's trapped up on the high side. Cameron Rich underneath him. Robert Hill will try to go in as well. A lot of battles all over the track. Here comes Whitley underneath Nick Massey. Whitley's going to have that preferred line. I think Massey will cede this spot without much contention. Nick Massey's just one of those guys on track. You know, he's going to drive you clean. He's going to race you very fairly, and he understands the situation around him. He's not going to press it on older tires with the damaged car. He's just going to run his line here, and people are going to come up on him, drop underneath him, and Massey's going to give them room all the way through, but he's certainly not going to roll over for anybody. He's just going to be situationally aware, and that's the kind of guy you want out there. This battle's still raging on between Beers, Worrell, and Scott Crump. Seth Rawls, Chad Bear fight went to Seth Rawls. That was for 8th. He, the only good running Shift Esports Ford, is up there in the 8th position. Right behind Jared Mogard, our Daytona winner in the COT car. It's interesting because Mogard's kind of flown under the radar anyway. Won the Daytona race and was a chase driver last year, but still somehow kind of flies under the radar a little bit and just ends up in the top 10 at the end of all these races. I think he's doing really well in points this year too.
Very quiet, that's for sure, for Mogard.
Ethan Burrell trying to move back through the field. Right in front of Indelicato and Ryan Lutz. This is a group that has made some contact in recent weeks. Specifically the 01 and the 36. Lutz is 3 laps down, remember. So, oh man, Hanshaw sideways. Someone's blinking in and out. Delicato cuts underneath him. Lutz gives him a shot. Hanshaw gathers it up.
Good job there by Hanshaw to not lose that one. That would have been another big one. Jared Rexing just gave the bumper to Leininger a couple times up front.
Leininger seems to be pretty good. It's just a matter of him deciding to go forward, I think. He's definitely kept Kwame Scott in his sights a little bit more than he did on that first run. Ethan Burrell diving to the inside there. Back in the field, the side-by-side battling kind of comes and goes throughout the field. Dallas Mahan struggling with his internet back there, and people are trying to sneak around him. Rex is
think
all over Leininger, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And I think Leininger's thing right now is just trying to ride it out. He doesn't want to try to do something too risky too early, and he's just content to sit and ride behind Scott right now and just click some laps off and maybe try to make that push for the lead later on.
I've both run a bunch of races with Damien at Martinsville, and I've watched him run a bunch of races, like this race last year, and Damien was up in the top 2 all year last year. The thing that he always seems to run into is that eventually he's got to go into the middle of the pack. And when he does that, you got to push a little bit harder, and he gets run over because he's trying to take care of his stuff. He's trying to run clean laps, get in that rhythm like we talked about. And if he's not in second, where the guy behind him, like Jared Rexing, can give him a little bit of that extra room to get, the tires warmed up and get going with the backing off strategy. Oh, there's Matthew Weeks spinning to the inside. I don't think he hit the inside wall that hard.
Caution.
But it will bring out the 7th caution of the race. And eventually, Leininger ends up getting run over because he's trying to save the tire on that 12 car to finish my point. See what happened to Matthew Weeks here.
Another guy that's just had such a rough year. One of the guys that was contending for wins last year, up there in the points, and just has not had the success this year.
You don't see that often. Matthew Weeks is a very sure-handed driver, and just lost it there, exiting turn 4, and just going to show you these Xfinity cars just as difficult to drive. But yeah, he just had overturned that wheel, exiting the corner, and gassed it up. Final pit stop coming for some of these guys. Damien Leininger is one of them. And just as I was talking about how him going down pit road and giving up that track position, he does so here. But I think this is with some strategy. Tate Lytle's on pit road. Hank Steinmiller's on pit road. I think these guys have plotted that this is their final stop of the day. They will do their best to stay out of trouble here. And as everyone else pits, they are just going to stay out, take over the race lead, and see what happens at the end of this event. I think you can make it from here. I think Leininger, Massey, Tate, Hank, those guys are the guys you're going to be looking out for once this caution cycles through and this front group heads to pit road. I really think these guys just made the play to pit for the final time.
David, I feel like it's just been a down year in general for that Pro Edge Racing team. Just Tate's had some good runs, but just hasn't got a win, hasn't been where we were used to him last year. And then, we already mentioned Matthew and Ethan just struggling this year. It just seems like it's kind of a down year for them so far.
I think they didn't adapt particularly great to the COT car. That being said, Weeks was the fastest car at Daytona. And Tate Lytle almost won Daytona and Auto Club. It's not like they haven't had their chances this year. They just haven't broken through yet. And knowing the speed of those guys, they're going to break through. They're going to win at least a couple of races this season. It's a matter of time. I know Matthew hasn't even won an ERSCA race yet, which is kind of surprising to me. He's a very consistent driver, and once we start going to these 1.5-mile tracks with this Xfinity car, he's going to be a threat for the win. But what you look for is, those guys that ran for the championship last year, and Tate Lytle and Ethan Burrell. I just kind of expect a little more from them. But it's going to come. I trust those guys, and I trust them to pick it up. Damien Leininger is now buried in 20th, by the way. It'll be Leininger, Massey, Isabella, Myhand, Hank Steinmiller, Tate Lytle, Austin Beers will be kind of your group that is going to stay out the next time this whole front group pits. And they will be staying out for the rest of the race. Don't even have to bring somebody up here to know that. Those guys are definitely not coming in again.
But to your just recent point, David, this is the point for Damien where it's kind of nerve-wracking. You talked about it. He's got to get into that rhythm. May not be the quickest guy, and he's just got to make sure, to the best of his ability, not really that it's in his control, but to not get run over and wrecked right here.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely huge, and knowing the curse of the 12 car, it's likely to happen. But he does have Vincent Isabella, Hank Steinmiller, Nick Massey around him right now, and they're crashing at the front. Trupiano, Rex, Rich.
Rexing Peter into the wall.
Leininger got some damage. A lot of those guys back there are going to be okay, though. But a huge chunk of the first group just wiped it out on the start here. Robert Hill pulling a Ryan Lutz, going backwards. Wow.
Second time we've seen a car going backwards up the racetrack today.
Yep. Robert Hill doing it. Tate Lytle there. I don't think any of the guys back here got any damage. I was just keeping an eye on them and looked and saw the wrecking there. Rexing comes down the track.
Yep.
I think he got bumped. I think Whitley got into him. Eater got damaged, hit the wall. That ended up being a much smaller wreck than it could have been. That could have been a massive pileup.
Could have been a parking lot.
I don't know if you guys watched the real Xfinity race, but they had a very similar incident at the start. And Dale Jr., among others, all wadded him up there. Hill and Rich definitely hit the hardest. Looks like Hanshaw might have gotten a little bit of damage. And Trupiano loses that track position. That's pretty crucial for him. All the chaos has brought Jared Mogard up to second. And Jared Rexing will now pit. Oh, wow, he did. You're absolutely right. Carlos calls it. Rexing missed a shift and got run into by Whitley, and it turned him down into Trupiano. Mental mistake from a guy that's usually really reliable up front in Jared Rexing. Yep, you see it right there. The rev limiter was still on. And it just definitely something there with the gearing. A tough break for Jared Rexing. He pits in the top 5 now, a little bit topsy-turvy. Jared Mogard is now second. I was watching those guys stop back there. They did a really good job of not piling into that wreck.
Yeah, and Delicato stopped way early.
That car, you hit him in the nose a little bit, it might explode. So probably wise of him to be careful there. Re-racking the field, Jared Mogard, Chad Baer, Mark Whitley, and Seth Rawls are now your top 5. Wesley Crump, who we talked to earlier, is up to 6th. James Heater is 7th. Cameron Rich has just stayed out anyway, sitting in 8th with some decently significant nose damage to that 47 car. Chris Worrell is 9th. Scott Crump is 10th. Johnny Thomas is up to 11th. Dylan Thomas is up to 12th. Those guys are somewhat damaged from early in the race, but just staying out, minding their P's and Q's, trying to get through. The first car that did pit last time, Damian Leininger, is 16th. The first car that pit this time is going to be Jared Rexing in 29th. So here we go for Kwame Scott. He tends to bring him down really slowly.
You think these guys are able to time it up at some point, knowing what he's been doing the same thing the last couple times?
I think they did right there. That's about as good as I've seen it. Chad Baer's going to get a huge jump on Jared Mogard. Cameron Rich's car looks okay. That car looks like it didn't just wad up in this big wreck. Baer hawks side by side with Mogard for second, and Baer will clear the double zero. Double zero cuts down in front of Mark Whitley to try to hold that third position. Oh, Crump just gave Worrell the bumper behind.
Well,
That
Wesley
was just about another wreck.
Wesley just got a couple. Around goes Zishan. Oh, Trupiano again.
Into him goes Trupiano. Wyatt Nadel spins again. This is why I don't want to go back to the back of the field, because now there's no rhythm. The caution's going to keep coming out, and it's very difficult to make up ground. Leininger made up 2 spots there on that run, and he's basically just got to wait for everybody to pit in front of him. But those guys might be able to save under the caution and go for a really long time. It's like the 26 car. Dallas Myhan got into Zishan, and everybody spun checking up. A bit of a wild race so far tonight. Johnny Thomas comes down pit road. there. Rexing almost involved in that. Right, Lutz stopped to avoid it. I'm curious now whether Lutz is 2 laps down. He's definitely getting lucky dogs. There's Wyatt Nadel, I believe, is going to get spun out here. Yep. Once again, we'll go after it. That Worrell crump sandwich there. That was the wreck. if we didn't get that other one, those guys were going to wad him up.
I don't remember where it was last year. I don't remember if it was Bristol, if it was here. All I remember is one short track. It turned into what looked like modifieds out there instead of actual Xfinity cars.
Yep. After this lap, we will be getting the halfway points, by the way. Kwame Scott's going to take home 10 bonus points. Chad Bear will be second. Mogard will be third. Mark Whitley fourth. Seth Rawls fifth. Cameron Rich picking up 4 valuable points in sixth. Wesley Crump seventh. Chris Worrell eighth. Scott Crump ninth. And James Heater will be 10th. And our halfway stage break.
I would have to say, just based on, even if he doesn't win tonight, just has a solid top 5, top 10 finish tonight, I would assume Kwame Scott would inherit the points lead.
He's certainly
from
driven
Nick and Delicato.
He's certainly driven like a points leader has tonight, making a real statement here in that 99 car for Robbins Racing Motorsports.
Especially since he just picked up halfway points. Cameron Rich did pick up some, sitting in 6th. But with the night Nick and Delicato's having, he would ultimately lose the points lead.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting indeed. And all these guys still have to pit, and I don't think Damian Leininger among some of those other guys in the middle to the back of the pack do.
And this is two things that are helping out Damian right now. One, he's staying clean, knock on wood. But 2, these pace laps are helping out his tires last longer too.
Yeah, absolutely. He did get a little damage. He got bumped into there. But on that one stack up with Trubiano, but seems like the 12 car is none the worse for wear. And Kwame Scott gets another huge jump, leaving Bear into second, and then Mogard and Whitley to battle for third.
Whitley dives it on in there. They stack it up on the inside lane.
Yep, Hank Steinmiller washed out there, lost several spots.
Damian diving it in, being aggressive.
He's got to be. Scott Crump's going to get wrecked there by Dylan Thomas. They save it. I can't believe that's not a wreck. Campbell's going 3 wide underneath Austin Beers, and they make it without caution. Oh, Isabella gets turned by Beers.
That was all, like that all started from that aggressive move by Damian. It kind of stacked up after that, and it just took a lap for something to happen.
I can tell you, Austin Beers and Vincent have a good relationship, so that's absolutely not intentional on the part of the 64 car. Looks like he just buried it in here and trying to get through the corner a little bit quicker, got to the gas a little bit early, and Vincent wasn't quite there yet.
Luckily, everyone did a good job of avoiding him there. There was a couple cars that could have piled into him.
Vincent tried to cut Scott Crump a break here, I think, because Crump and Dylan Thomas were still side by side. And, man, those guys behind him were not cutting anybody any breaks. They were 3-4 wide. I had an idea to bring Johnny Eckert into the booth here, and Jared Mogard and Scott Crump do pit. But 10th caution, I was going to bring race control in and see if he see what he thought about the trends so far.
I'm for it if you want to.
Let's do it. Johnny Eckert, David in the booth, you got me?
Hey, what's up?
Well, 10th caution, I figured we'd check in with race control. How's it going down there? Is anybody mad? And have you broken out the popcorn machine yet?
Everybody's mad. And Yeah, there's a lot of lineup chaos right now. So yeah, I don't know. Cars are getting stuck behind the pace car, not being waved, and making them the leader when we go back green, or the green flag, the indicator for the green flag when the green flag comes out. So there's a lot going on.
Is that part of why Gerald restarted up front that one time?
Yep, yep. That didn't get called out soon enough, and I told him to go, and he went. And then as he was going, the leader decided that this was the moment, so they both went. But yeah,
I got you, man. Well, halfway, 10 cautions. I figured my money would always be on 20 at Martinsville. So good luck back up there, and we'll maybe check in a little bit later.
yeah. I'm hoping not to see 20. I think the record's like 22, so I'm hoping we stay low, but we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, man. Well, great work up there, and we appreciate all you do for us.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Johnny Eckert, our race control. A little explanation on what happened with that Gerald Campbell incident. That was weird, wasn't it?
It was very weird. Don't see that very often. Probably won't see that ever again, if not rarely. So
Well, you never know with iRacing. That's the one thing is iRacing. You might be something you've never seen before. I thought I would never see half the lobby get kicked out of a race ever again when it happened that one time, and then it happened 3 weeks ago at Richmond. So look, you never know. It's
it's very
this thing's
unpredictable.
always wild. Yeah. So Kwame Scott will continue to lead. He does, I believe, need to pit. He may try to just, rely on these caution laps and make it all the way to the end.
Leininger is up to 8th. We'll go
Yeah, he
back
is.
green
And
here.
his progress is definitely the one to monitor. That 12 car is, one of those guys that can definitely contend with Kwame Scott.
Chad Bear, Kwame Scott, green flag in the air. Back to green we go.
Kwame, I think, went a little bit earlier that time, and it did surprise Mark Whitley. It's going to allow Chad Bear to drop in.
Didn't surprise Chad Bear that much. He hung right with Kwame there off the start. Side by side, Rawls underneath Rich.
Cameron Rich might have a power move under the hood of that 47 car. He's pulling ahead of this 0-2. Damian Leininger is there in 8th. Kind of got a break cut by Dylan Thomas behind him.
He's
Wesley
right
Crump
behind.
and
Yep,
Wesley Crump and Scott Chris Worrell there, side
Yep.
by side. Oh man!
Oh, Rick! Oh,
They save it. What a save by Cameron Rich. He's gonna overcook it entering the corner too. 47 car all over the place here, but he does get through without wrecking that car and losing all the track position.
just lost about 4 or 5 spots though.
Oh, they wrecked it. Scott Crump behind. That checkup from Rich having to get down entering the corner, stacked all the way back through the field and ended up wiping out Scott Crump. That was something else. I just watched the check drop all the way back from the Cameron Rich area, just car after car, checked, and then Crump was the one that didn't get so lucky. Watch them here. They're on the bottom. They're all going to check, and then boom, there goes Crump.
If he could have kept that car straight and didn't get some net code there, I think he could have picked up quite a few spots with the momentum on the outside.
Yeah, they checked up hard here. Watch them all go back. You'll see. Yeah, there it is in my hand's car. My hand's been blinking in and out a good bit as Rich does pit here. My hand's been blinking in and out a good bit, and I think the netcode bubble around that 26 car is a lot larger than around some of these other cars, just due to that amount of blinking. That's one of the reasons that when you come to Martinsville, I expect 20 cautions, just because nobody knows. We can't see the bubble around the 26 car, but you get run over anyway from 3 feet away. Kwame Scott again doesn't pit. And with that 12th car up to 6th now with fresh tires, beginning to wonder if staying out is actually the right call here, if Damian maybe actually did finally pull a good strategy. Ryan Lutz got a lap back there. He is now on the lead lap.
Look out.
I wouldn't count him out. I absolutely would not count Ryan Lutz out of this race. You'd be foolish to. There's going to be so many cautions, so many opportunities for him to get back in it, and he's been able to keep that 36 car clean since the beginning of this race. Be a comeback story for the ages, from 3 laps down back to wherever he finishes. A shout to Austin Beers for running in 7th. He did just wipe Vincent Isabella out, but he hasn't been with us all year long, but he's here this week and running 7th and doing a good job. Also, Josh Clark has made his way into the top 10. First time all season that we've really seen Clark, except for I think he had a 5th place run at Richmond, I think. I want to say it was Richmond.
Bro, back up to 11th.
Yep. Tate Lytle there in 12th as well. Hank Steinmiller's 15th. Josh Adams is 14th. That's from 37th on the grid, too, for Adams. Stack them up. 2 by 2. 1 lap to go here. Lights are out on top of the pace car. Kwame Scott, Chad Bear, Mark Whitley, Seth Rawls, your top 4. Chris Worrell, and the fresh tires of Damian Leininger. First 3 rows. I think Beers has fresh tires too. I think that 64 car's been to pit road a number of times. Ethan Burrell, Tate Lytle, those guys back there, they're going to have tires if we get any sort of green flag run.
It's the roll of the dice right now about that question.
Nobody stacks him up here as we get going. Kwame Scott gets the big jump. This is the first time Leininger's really been caught on the outside, but Beers does let him in.
Burrell and Rawls going at it. Whitley trying to hold off Chad Bear, and he'll slot into 2nd.
Whitley was
They're
one of the
back
cautions.
in
Ooh,
3rd.
one in the wall. Almost another one there. I think it was one of the Shift Esports cars way in the back of the field. Everyone
Staying
stays green.
Damian underneath Seth Rawls for 5th.
Hank's got a problem too. Number of guys stepping out, stacking up, but Damian Leininger's up to 5th. Oh, one around. There goes one of the Shift Esports cars.
Still green.
Apparently we're good. He must have DC'd or something. I think it's Matthew Bayuk. Chris Worrell up to 4th. Rode the inside lane. Oh, Dylan Thomas stacks him up on the bottom. Another set of 3 wide entering one of the corners. They're going to make it. A lot of contact throughout the field here.
Oh, Damian just got loose out of 4.
In all this madness, Ethan Burrell and Tate Lytle have snuck up into 7th and 8th. Mogard looking for 3 wide. Caution's out ahead. Austin Beers has spun the 64, and the announcer's curse continues. Feel bad about that one. We just mentioned it. Kind of want to get some mad drivers here, but I don't know if Beers is actually in the Discord. I don't believe he is. Like it's going to be Wesley Crump. Oh, man. Wesley did tell us he was trying not to run into anybody.
Hey, we got takers
And I
down
told him
pit
it was
road.
Martinsville. I told him it was Martinsville.
Chad Bear down pit road. Chris Worrell down pit road.
Ethan Burrell and Tate Lytle both coming down pit road. Bit of a curious call for those guys. I feel like those guys probably could have made it all the way to the end. Jared Rexing's down pit road.
Leininger stays out.
And that's up to
Crump
3-3.
stays out. Nick Massey stays out.
I wonder if Massey's got a little bit better of a car here. you know, gotten some of that damage fixed, gotten 4 fresh tires, you know, he might be all right. One of the guys in position to capitalize. I feel like that's a mistake coming down right now. The way the cautions have been falling, and we've been getting like 7, 8 laps at maximum between cautions. I just that's not enough time for old tires to really drop through the field. It is enough time for, you know, a fresh tires to make a couple of moves, but you know, you're gonna have to do that over and over again at risk of piling into a big wreck. I much prefer the strategy of staying out here, and ultimately, I think I prefer the strategy of the 12 car the best. You know, he's got the freshest tires. He does have a little bit of damage, but he's definitely going to have the pace to be able to keep up with Kwame Scott. He's going to have the tires to go after him.
If you're
Like where he's
Scott,
at.
you almost got to be playing till the end now, right? Like, can't. You're getting later into the race now. You don't want to put yourself back there and make your way up. So you got to almost stay out till the end now, right?
Maybe you would think so, but he might need gas, right? Like he's going to have to go over 100 laps on this tank of fuel. I don't think Mark Whitley's pit either. Even since Whitley got in that wreck, I don't think Whitley's pit. I know. Carlos has the graph for the last pit for Kwame and Whitley. I'm guessing it's the same lap. Let's talk to Josh Clark. Josh Clark, David in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, David.
Hey man, you're running up here pretty good. You got anything for these guys?
Maybe if I can get to the bottom. I feel like if I can hold my lane down there and not get rooted up, I can at least maintain. It's tough. I cannot get it to turn the center. So it just depends if I can get down. I think a lot of guys made their bet on their last pit stop there, and I'm gonna give it one more shot up here to try to stay out of carnage. But if I drop back, I'll be pitting.
Gotcha. 10-4, man. Good luck out there.
Yep. Thank you.
Josh Clark, P6. We're getting one more to go here, so the lights came back on in the pace car. Johnny Eckert clearing some things away. Might have been somebody stopping on track. I'm not sure, but the lights are now off on the pace car, so we're good. Hank Steinmiller's back up to 7th. Cooper Johnson's up to 9th. Robert Hill has been into the wall, the inside wall. He's been into Cameron Rich. He's been driving backwards on the track, and he is 10th. Pretty much a normal Martinsville night, I would say.
All right, here we go. Back to green. 70 laps to go.
Tommy Scott, the old tires, taking him down slow. He goes, and Leininger was ready for it. He's going to get a jump on Whitley. Oh, Damian went in deep.
He's been aggressive here on this last run.
Up to second. He's back where he was before that pit stop.
All right, so now the question is, if you're Damien, do you be aggressive and try to get the race lead here, or do you know that whether it's tires, gas, whatever it might be, Kwame might have to come down pit road?
I absolutely go for the race lead here. There is no place safer on this racetrack than the lead.
Steinmiller looking to the inside here for a 5th place position.
Auctions out. Big spin in the back. I think it's Chris Worrell. And Chris Worrell was 4th. Pitted, and now he's backwards in turn 4. So is Austin Beers. I'm telling you, you do not want to go to pit road. Anything you can to avoid it, you must do it. It takes so long to claw your way back through the field. And it puts you at risk of getting run into, and this is Worrell's way in front of Beers here. But it looks like Beers was, oh wow. Beers was fine, tried to pull around him in the net code, picked up the 64 and spun it out. Chad Bear just missed the corner a little bit and looped the 06. Damian Leininger now up to second.
Well, we're back to where we were originally. Only difference is Leininger's got newer tires than Kwame Scott.
By a good bit. I think that advantage is really going to play a factor here at the end of this race. I'm looking to see who had the faster lap times at the end of that run between Damian and Kwame. Damian ran a 20 flat. Kwame ran a 19.999. So their laps were near identical through there. I think ultimately Leininger's car will win out with those fresh tires, but he's been very impressive driving his way back through the field. We could pull someone else if you want. We got a bunch of cautions. Plenty of guys who haven't been interviewed yet.
Yeah, I don't care. Who do we want to pull up now? Looks like we got at least one more till we go green.
Get Cameron Rich, maybe?
Yeah, we can talk to Cameron.
Cameron Rich, David in the booth, you got me?
Hey, yeah, I got you. What's up?
Well, Cameron, it seems like you've been back to the front, to the back, to the front, to the back, front, bouncing off of people. How's it been out there?
About what you said. Been a lot of hitting cars and stuff. I'm trying not to do it, but I've gotten involved in just about everything so far, and I had to get my car fixed because it was just really bad after that last one, but I don't think I'm pitting again. So we'll see where I guess it's going to be like a conveyor. We're just going to see where we kind of finish, probably, because they're probably going to keep wrecking.
Yeah, probably. Well, good luck out there, Cameron, and sorry for your misfortune so far on some of those wrecks.
Not a problem, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, getting ready to go green.
See what Damian does here in this 12 car. He's getting real close to that 99, trying to. And Kwame goes as early as he's gone, and Hank lost it.
They're wrecking big
wreck.
time.
Wow. Hank and Mogard, the ones who are gonna get hurt the most out of that. And my goodness. Kwame jumped earlier than he has all race, and it cost a couple of guys that were running inside the top 5. I mean, just identical to the Dylan Thomas and Matthew
Oh, he
Weeks
spun it
spins
out?
earlier. Identical.
Just spun the tires.
Remarkably, everybody got through that with the exception of a couple of guys making contact with each other, checking up for the wreck. Strupiano's going to have damage. Crump's going to have damage. I think Delicato's going to have damage from that, but everybody else slows up, makes it through. It's not a huge mess. Jared Mogard definitely gets the worst of this. Mark Whitley down pit road. I mean, unless you were not good on fuel, I just don't see a reason to come down pit road at this point, especially if you're in that top couple of cars.
Puts Nick Massey into third.
Yep. You want to talk to him?
Sure.
Let's talk to him. Nick Massey, David in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, Nick, you've been crashed, and now you're in third. So how'd that happen?
Good question. I don't know. It's kind of luck of the draw. You know, got in an early restart wreck on like the second restart of the race. Thought I was going to be safe, relatively safe, starting up there in like 11th or 12th or wherever it was, but that was not the case. So, yeah, just kind of riding it out here. I pitted, I think, lap 90 or so, so I think that might be it for me. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to maybe give these guys a run for their money. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what's gonna happen here. What the strategy is when you're gonna take tires. I don't know what's gonna happen. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Nick, little teammate question for you. We won't distract Kwame from the lead, but does he have enough fuel, or is he gonna have to pit out of the lead here? He's been on the track for a long time.
You know, that's good. I never thought of that. It's a good question. I think he pitted around lap 50. I think. I don't know. He should be all right, but that might be another wrench in the grand scheme of things here. I don't know.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there. I know you got some fresh tires. You and the 12 seem to have the fresher tires to your teammates. So we'll see what happens out here.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hopefully you brought a lot of snacks up there.
Later, Massey. Good luck.
See ya.
So there you go. Carlos pulling it up on the screen for you there. Weininger and Massey basically on the same pit strategy, 57 laps on their tires. Kwame and Crump a lot longer since they've came down pit road.
How about Cooper Johnson, Robert Hill, Trupiano, other Scott Crump, Vincent Isabella, and Delicato now into the top 10. This race has been wild, man. Here we go.
Yeah, sorry, Wesley Crump, not Scott Crump there. Taking a while since pitting, and we're back to green. We'll see what happens here. Damien gonna get beat out by Nick. And they're wrecking Trupiano into the wall.
Damien spun the tires bad, but that actually is going to work to his advantage. He's going to be third on this restart. Trupiano wrecks from, I think he was 7th, which that's like the 4th time that 7 car's been spun around today. What are we at, 15 cautions?
Might be 16.
Ooh, buddy. Trupiano get dumped here? What happened?
Yep.
Oh.
Scott Crump.
Huh. No, that wasn't Crump. That was not Scott Crump. I can tell you that right now. That car was pink.
Oh, Crump was in there.
Crump was a victim right here, man. Crump was
Yeah,
a
Nick
victim.
drove it in way too deep. He goes, Trupiano goes off the nose of the 90, but it was not his fault that caused that.
Oh, you gotta be better than that, especially when you're the points leader, man. That one's maybe, we've had a lot of pretty standard wrecks. That one's pretty inexcusable though. I think, losing the rear tires is whatever. That's pretty normal. But when you overcook the corner and just wipe 2 people out, I don't know, man. I don't sit right with me. But doesn't matter, because Delicato's 7th and Trupiano's behind him. So Scott Crump. I can tell you, you know exactly what's going to happen if you're in front of that car later in this race. Want to give it the boot before it has a chance to boot you. But I think that kind of indicates what Johnny Eckert was talking about. Guys are starting to lose their patience a little bit.
It's only going to get worse here as we close in on 50 to go.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Cooper Johnson. He's up to 4th in that 14 car. Haven't talked much about him today. He's been in and out of the top 10, but the strategy seems to be working for him. We've talked to Wesley Crump today. He has been really quite good, honestly. He's been up front all day long. He's on the same strategy as Scott.
How about this too, David? Last week, who were the 2 cars that were battling for the race win? The front 2 cars that are up front right now.
It's amazing how much things change. Things end up staying the same. That being said, I think Leininger is actually going to have the better run into the corner this time. The 3rd is probably where you want to start if we actually do get a green flag run. But who knows? We haven't gotten one of those in quite a while. Progress on some of the guys who've been every which direction but forward today. Ryan Lutz is 19th. Matthew Weeks is 20th. Cameron Rich is 21st. Hank Steinmiller's 29th now. Andy Trupiano's all the way back in 34th after that one.
All right, gonna go back to green once again. At 149 will be put on the board. We'll see how long we can make it after that. green flag back in the air. Kwame Scott, Nick Massey on the front row.
Field got going pretty good. Massey had a really good start.
Damian
what
drives it
Leininger-
in.
Yeah, see what Leininger can do. Fresh tires.
Oh, they're,
man, they're gonna.
oh,
Vincent
the
Isabella got
Delicato.
into the 0-1. That's
4
gonna
wide
work
down the
out fine.
backstretch isn't going to work.
It is.
Somehow.
Damian Leininger's going for the race lead. Up front, Leininger trying to take the lead from Kwame Scott. Old tires on that 99. Give it to the 12.
Wesley Crump into third, too. He got around Nick Massey.
This is a big battle for the lead right here. Could be the battle for the race win. And Leininger slides up the track just a little bit. Delicato's been black flagged by race control.
Oh,
Leininger
Kwame
gets
got
into
it.
Kwame. And that's it. Leininger to the lead.
Wesley Crump into second.
Delicato to pit road to serve the black flag. Kwame back to third for the first time all day. Damian out front and pulling away from guys with older tires.
Cooper Johnson falling through the field here just a little bit.
Robert Hill is two damaged cars, both of them. I think neither Cooper doesn't have a hood. Robert doesn't have a front bumper. Oh, Robert's gonna get sent by Crump here. I think they saved it, but Robert absolutely got sent by Scott Crump. They're still 3 and 4 wide down the back straightaway. Vincent Isabella, Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, Josh Adams, Ryan Lutz is there. A rather tight battle for position. All of it going on behind Damian Leininger.
Kind of surprised here. I thought Nick Massey would be able to get around Crump and Scott here and get up and battle with Leininger, but he's still stuck behind him right now. These front four have kind of pulled away a little bit.
That 48 car's been through hell and back with a pretty big amount of damage. Wonder if that's maybe slowing him up just a little bit. The car we're going to need to watch out for, and Damian probably does not want to see get a caution, is Jared Rexing in the 07. Nope. Rawls sends Hill up the track. But when Chad Bear spins around, that'll be the caution. Chris Worrell, the one who got him.
Oh, they're still wrecking. Piling it up after
Dylan
that.
Thomas,
Here
Josh
goes Z.
Clark.
Sean.
Now it gets interesting. I wouldn't pit.
Oh.
I still would just go for it. Don't pit.
Damian got a close call there. Some cars were trying to clear that wreck.
So did Kwame, I think. Here's the spin. Chad Bear, who's been in the top 5 in this race. Dylan Thomas, Josh Clark, and kind of parking lots from there. Let's watch Leininger come up on this. There he is.
Right.
Oh man, Josh Clark was reversing right as Leininger got there.
It was very close.
Josh Adams, Robert Hill pit from the top 10.
Right.
Going
Right
for
in
it.
there. It was pretty close.
Nick and Delicato's going to finish either 36th or 35th today from the race lead.
Here's them piling it up.
Now we'll get the look of Damian coming up on this wreck. Oh, maybe not. It's all good. It's all good.
Here we go.
Here it is. Oh,
This is
next,
something
next
you
corner.
def-
Next corner.
This is something you definitely don't want to see if you're the race leader.
Nope. Car backing up towards you. Ah! Careful. 3 racket. Leininger and Wesley Crump the top 2. Kwame Scott and Nick Massey 3 and 4. Jared Rexing, Cooper Scott, Cooper Johnson, 5 and 6. Scott Crump and Seth Rawls, 7 and 8. Vincent Isabella and Ethan Burrell, 9th and 10th. I think Vincent's been backwards. Ethan Burrell's been on pit road fixing damage before. Those guys having a good run. Tay Lytle is 11th. Ryan Lutz is now 12th. That's a he was 3 laps down at one point in this race. Cameron Rich is 13th. Matthew Weeks is 14th. And Austin Beers is 15th. The freshest tires on track are 16th with Mark Whitley.
This reminds me of what we saw last year with Ethan Burrell. It seemed like Burrell, a couple races in a row, had contact in the opening few laps, and all of a sudden, when he got to the end of the race, there he is sitting 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere in the mix. Not quite there yet, but maybe this is a run that kind of changes his fortunes of the season, and he can get up here and challenge, maybe not for the race lead, but for a solid finish here inside the top 10.
And notification from race control Johnny Eckert. Nick and Delicato warned for blinking a number of times tonight. Or informed about blinking a number of times tonight. Not warned, but then incidents on track plus the blinking earned him the black flag, and he has since left the lobby.
All right, here we go. Under 40 to go. Damien with a great jump on the restart.
And that's points implications, isn't Delicato going back there. And Damien with a really good restart, he's going to need to get one of those every time because Jared Rexing's going to have the tire advantage just like he had on Kwame Scott. Cooper Johnson is free falling through the field this time through.
Wesley Crump might be Scott's best friend right now, though. He's blocking Rexing and making it hard to get by him, but here he comes, Rexing to the inside.
Rexing's going to have the tires here. It's a matter of does Damien have enough tire to compete with Jared Rexing? And can these guys run 37?
Oh, Rexing into the wall!
Never mind. So much for that. Vincent Isabella clobbers into Rexing. Huh.
Wesley Crump and Rexing got together. Rexing got loose. I don't know if Nick Massey ended up tapping him a little bit more because he spun out in front of him, or if he just got sent into the wall from the Crump contact.
No, man, I don't think Wesley Crump got him there. I think that was a little bit of net code.
Oh, he did get loose coming out of the corner.
Yeah, he did, but that's one of those situations where Jared Rexing should not have spun around right there. I mean, he should be afforded the opportunity to correct the car and make some contact without wrecking the guy, but just that little bit of contact just completely ruins Rexing's race, probably ruins Vincent Isabella's race. And it's funny because Wesley Crump was one of those guys we were talking to earlier, and he said, "Oh, I don't want to run into anybody. I just want to, have a good, nice, clean race." And whoops.
I by no means was saying that it was his fault intentionally.
No.
I was just saying that they made contact with each other and around went Rexing. So
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's frustrating. I was kind of cheering for Wesley Crump a little bit, you know what I mean? Because we did talk to him, and new guy to the series, somebody who can, maybe stick around and be kind of a long-time member and, having a really good run, but you don't want to be taking people out. And I think ultimately he'll get flagged for fault in that one. And you get 2 of those before you start losing points. But, with him trying to probably make his way into the top 35 or whoever get locked into Daytona next year, that doesn't help. And I kind of blame iRacing a little bit for that incident resulting in a wreck. And I feel bad for Jared Rexing. He was the first guy we brought up earlier, and he had a really good car. And I think he had a really good shot to win this race. And I genuinely don't know where the tires are going to come from now that can challenge Damian Leininger. Because behind him are 2 guys who haven't pitted since lap 40.
When's the last time like Tate or Ethan's been on, or maybe Cameron? Has it been a while since they've been on too?
I think that's where your fastest tires are going to come from, but I don't know if any of those guys are going to have the speed because Rexing's car was really clean. He hadn't run into anything yet. I mean, Tate's been involved in some incidents. Ethan's been involved. Rich has bounced off of everybody. I mean, Mark Whitley's there, but Whitley lost a spot in that shuffle.
Both Crumps now in the top 5.
It's a Dave Crump. We have seen guys just fire it off into the corner, off the restart, and wipe out several guys out of the top 5. So it's by no means over. There's plenty that can still happen here in the last 30 laps. Here we go. Pace car is in. Damian Leininger. Kwame Scott. Leininger goes mid-corner. And gets a big jump on the rest of the field. And they're trying to wreck. Mid-pack, Johnny Thomas sideways. Ryan Lutz got shoved out of the groove. Oh, Lutz gets sent by Hank Steinmiller. And that'll be a caution, and that is 2 teammates right there running into each other and preventing their other teammate, who just had a big lead, from getting a few more green flag laps clicked off. The amount of wrecks thus far in this one, between people who I know for a fact are not trying to run into each other, has been absolutely astronomical. Beers and Isabella, 2 guys who definitely aren't trying to run into each other. Steinmiller and Lutz, a couple of teammates. Steinmiller's a couple of guys binning it coming out of the corner. It's just crazy to me. We've got a really good lobby of drivers, and they have made some really bad mistakes tonight. $18 cautions.
Still going to have about 25 to go when we get ready to go green once again.
All that progress for Ryan Lutz from 3 laps down into the top 10. He's now back to 31st. I'm willing to bet Ryan Lutz will still have a chance to get up and have a decent points day.
Yeah, I saw that too, Carlos. That was mighty close. Rexing was trying to come back around, get a lap back, and Kwame Scott was up there about a lane too high.
Quick replay then.
They didn't make contact. It was pretty close.
I don't think they did. He was exactly as far up as you can possibly be without being too close to get run into. And maybe Rexing hit the wall a little bit. Might have scraped it. All this behind Damian Leininger. The Batflip Podcast number 12. Kwame Scott, who will likely inherit the points lead pending these last 25 laps or so. Someone's going to inherit the points lead, though, because Nick Indelicato is out of the race in 36th. Wesley Crump in 3rd, trying to make an impression on one of his first ERSCA starts. Nick Massey, the 2020 champion, trying to get it back and get back in victory lane after losing it out last week. Seth Rawls, Scott Crump, Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, Cameron Rich, and Vincent Isabella round out the top 10. Here we go again.
Green flag in the air. Damien going to make him wait this time, and now he goes.
Very smart. Change up your restart so they can't get a jump on you. 25 laps to go. How long until the next caution? Wagers? Anyone?
Not very long, I'm
One lap?
guessing here. Oh, there
Two
it
laps?
is. Scott Crump
There it
around.
is. And he's back out in front of the field. He's going to collect beers and Worrell. One lap. That was the answer.
That's
19.
This is exactly actually where I was looking for that caution to happen. Tate had dove it in there a couple times, looking to try to get underneath. I don't know if they made contact. Yeah, maybe just slight contact there, and around goes Crump.
Thomas, I think, got a piece of that as well. Chris Worrell got a big piece of it. Scott Crump, obviously, the big loser in that situation. Tate had been really pushing hard, trying to get under Crump a couple of times, and Crump had shut the door on him a couple of times. And Tate kind of finally had enough there. Here's Chris Worrell. I'm willing to bet you're going to see a whole lot of nowhere to go.
Oh. Broadside right into that left side of the race car.
Chris Worrell has not enjoyed this switch back to the Xfinity car, man. I tell you what, he liked the COT, and he has not enjoyed this. The Dover race, he was binned early, and here getting wrapped up in incidents not of his own making. Scott Crump said, "Thanks, Tate," in the chat. I'm sure he's not super thrilled. Took a look, and I don't see him in there anywhere, so can't bring him up. We could bring up Chris Worrell. Why not? Chris Worrell, David in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, man, it looked like you didn't really have anywhere to go on that one. You know, anywhere you could have gone, maybe, or you just kind of getting sucked up into everything tonight?
Yeah, I saw it happening. I was hoping Johnny was going to get over to the right there, so I could have maybe jumped to the left and possibly got out the way. But I just couldn't do it quick enough. I mean, at this point, I've just been ready to get this race over. I feel like I had a good shot at having a good finish earlier, but Pitt got spun out when I was up front, and I'm just ready to get over with at this point.
Sounds
Look
good,
forward to
man.
next
Well,
week.
yeah, I hate it for you, man, but good luck next week, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
Chris Worrell, someone we really haven't gotten an interview up here.
All right, 20 to go. Same two. Kwame Scott, Damian Leininger are going to lead us to the green flag again.
Leininger goes in the corner, gets a big restart there, continues to get those big leads, and that's what you really need here at the short track.
I was going to say, it's not if, it's when the next caution's going to strike here. Kwame all over the back of Damian. Oh, he moved Damian into the wall.
He just shoved Damian
Massey
out
into
of the
the wall,
way.
into Damian. Caution's going to fly.
What the hell was that, man? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Completely understand that.
Temper's flying here at Martinsville, and rightly so in Damian's case.
I think that's ridiculous, man. You just didn't drive it into the corner. I don't. Kwame Scott's been one of the fastest cars here, and drove up to catch him, and I just, man, that's.
Took out 3 of the top 4 cars, too.
He had a run. Damian through the block. That's fine. And then he just drove him through the Just through the grass.
Crump and Massey are going to get together here, too. Rexing, I think, got into Crump, which sent him into Massey.
All this, Tate Lytle is now third. Ethan Burrell is now fourth. I mean, it's the leader's right to take the bottom at Martinsville, man. You can't just shoot somebody out of the way because they drove to the bottom at Martinsville. I don't like that. Got to set the corner up exiting. You can't just dive bomb somebody and expect them to get out of your way, especially for the race lead with 15 to go.
Now, does somebody repay the favor from behind?
Well, you certainly know what's going to happen if that 99 car is behind you. I'm not going to let him have a chance. I'm going to send him the same way he sent that guy. I don't think Damien has really any car left to be able to send that message besides what he did there under caution. A lot more is warranted than just that little bit of contact, too. That's,
well,
you know,
is
he
that
won there.
Is that a storyline for somewhere down the road the rest of the season?
Eventually, everybody's going to watch this back. Everybody knows exactly how people are racing. We know. Everybody's watching.
You know, you always hear it when it comes playoff time in NASCAR about championship contenders not wanting to make any rivals out there on the racetrack. Could Damien strike when it counts most for Kwame?
Exactly. Yeah, Damien was. We can. They're about to go green though, so we'll save it. I was thinking about it, but honestly, I don't know if you want that kind of language on the broadcast. Ugh. We'll get him up here though. I think that 12 car might be hurting here.
Give him a few minutes to cool off just a little bit.
First time all year, I don't feel like the 12 car curse was the cause of the incident.
Here we go. Kwame Scott, Seth Rawls now your front two. Burrell and Lytle behind him.
Yep. Tate and Burrell are the ones that I'm very watching out. Oh man, Rawls did not get going. Lytle into second. And Tate's used the bumper already. Caution's out once again. Josh Clark got wiped out.
21.
Yep. It was inevitable. It was as inevitable as Thanos.
You know, I'm surprised Carlos has not played his Elmo graphic yet.
It is time for Elmo. We need a Thanos graphic now, Carlos. Josh Clark bounced it off the wall there. And oh man, 22 is the record. We're almost there. Let's bring up the victim of our last caution before that one. Damian Leininger, David in the booth.
Don't put me in the booth right now.
Okay. That's what we thought.
Yo, so who's up for a little wrestling after this race?
That's what I always say. Should have a ring in the infield. Get everybody fighting.
All right, so now does Tate have the best shot?
I don't know. He got up to second, which is both good and bad. You don't want to be second. Seems like you want to be third if you're going to be hunting the leader.
How big would it be for either Tate or Ethan here to come up and pick up a win?
Certainly not one that was expected at all, given the middle part of this race where they were just kind of mired in 25th. we'll see. Maybe Seth Rawls has a little something for him here. I don't know what Seth's tires look like, but I imagine they're a little bit fresher. Trying to pull up the last pit graphic. See where we're at. Seth Rawls has the same tires as Tate Lytle, and much fresher than those of Kwame Scott and Wesley Crump.
Yeah, does someone put the bumper to Scott? Whether that's move him out of the way in the corner or push him through the corner.
I mean, they saw what he's willing to do. I wouldn't want him close to me. But we also seen what Tate Lytle's willing to do. Green flag is out again. Tate's close. But Rawls has the run through the corner. Tate lets Rawls go. Oh, Lutz is in the wall in the back straightaway. Caution's out.
22.
There it is. Martinsville is just known for this, man. There's Elmo. Martinsville's just known for this. A wreck every corner, it seems like. And I think that might be all for the old 36 car. It's been close tonight, but he made a valiant comeback, I would say. Just not quite enough. Yeah, a little contact with Hanshaw there, and no! Nick Massey just about got cleared by Ryan Lutz there.
So it's going to be
on board with Nick Massey.
It's going to be interesting too here, David. Next week we're off, but the week after that we come back at Lucas Oil. So these guys might have some time to sit on these feuds that they're having right now, and couldn't return the favor just in 2 weeks.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. I didn't know that was the next one. I was figuring we were going to eventually take this car to some, 1.5-mile tracks where we can spread them out. But nope, back to the short track once again. And I mean, the way this group has gone tonight, and at Richmond, I mean, we just a lot of aggression, whole lot of aggression throughout the field. A couple of comeback stories to note. Cameron Rich is 5th after having kind of a miserable day. Matthew Weeks is 6th after spinning very early in this one. Mark Whitley's been backwards. He is 8th. Cooper Johnson is 10th. Hank Steinmiller is up to 12th, I think, and he's been backwards a couple of times today.
After all that, Damien's still sitting in 7th.
Chad Barris, 13th. Austin Beers is 14th. Both of them have been backwards. Gerald Campbell is 16th. He was one of the first cautions of the day. Josh Adams has been involved in just about everything else, and he's 19th. Nick Massey got back in the lead lap, by the way, with that dodging of Ryan Lutz. It kept him from losing the lucky dog.
Green-white checker to finish it out here.
Looks that way, and that means Tate Lytle's going to need to be on his horse. And, well, we know how to pass at Martinsville. Certainly how the 99 got the lead. Gotta use that front bumper. We'll see if anybody else wants to do it. Seth Rawls up front with a really good shot to win this race.
A lot of guys in here to have a chance to pick up their first win this season. Kwame Scott, the only repeat winner, looking to pick up his 3rd.
Here we go. Green flag is out. Rawls really held Kwame down. It's not going to help. Tate Lytle through to second, and Tate's going to need to go and get everything he can right now.
He's clear. Now he's got to go run him down.
There's going to be a caution before
Oh,
we
yep,
get
there it is.
Yep,
Tate's
there
out.
it is. Tate, Seth Rawls, Kwame Scott's going to win this race. They crash on the front straightaway.
White
Campbell
flag's out,
there.
though. It doesn't matter. They're going to race back to the stripe here. Kwame's got 7, 8, 10 car lengths heading into 3 and 4. He was the repeat winner for the first time this week. First one to go back-to-back, and the first one to 3. Kwame Scott wins here at Martinsville. Ethan Burrell comes home in second.
Yep. I'd watch him after the checkered flag here.
Damien's trying, but they're blocking him off right now. There he goes. Yep.
Not happy is that 12 car, and I completely understand. Wild finish here at Martinsville. Tied the record of cautions. Want to grab Cameron Rich here while we're watching it? Cameron Rich, David in the booth. You finished third, surprisingly
David?
enough.
I know, right?
Yeah,
My
we had
goodness.
a. Yeah, how did you get back up there? I mean, it just seemed like a wild crash fest there coming down to the end.
Something like that. It was a wild crash fest up until the end. So honestly, I pitted there about lap 120 or 110 or something, and I got tires, and I said I wasn't going to pit again at the end of the race because I knew we were going to need tires at some point, and it was just Martinsville. I mean, I never knew where I was on the track. There was just people spinning out in front of me, people wrecking behind me. You kind of just end up wherever you end up at that point, and it's a shame that the race started so bad. Like I got damage on the very first yellow of the race, which was on the start, because I really felt like I had a good chance to win this race. So I really just spent most of the race fixing damage and coming up from the back and everything. But my goodness, P3, I would have been fine with like P20, honestly, with how the night started.
Yeah, that's tough, man. But hey, you got to take it. You got any shout outs for us here?
Yeah, a couple. First off, Harpoon Designs, Brantley for painting the car, and Kyle for we put a lot of laps in to do this race and practice for it, and it was really really special for me because I posted on Twitter about this, but I lost one of my best friends a couple days ago here, and that pretty much tore me apart. So I was really just wanting to have a good run here. I had a little decal in the front of the car for her, a little blue koala. So I just hope that that was pretty. I hope that did something. I know it made me feel better. So, and of course my fiance Caitlin for being awesome and being 3Y TV's #1.
Yeah, props, man. Congratulations and condolences for your loss, and hopefully, in a couple, take a nice week off and be ready next, in 2 weeks for another round of short track racing.
Absolutely, appreciate it, guys.
Yep, thank you, Cameron. All right, let's bring up second place finisher Ethan Burrell. Ethan, it's David in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Yeah, well, take me through your night there. You got the lead there for a little bit, and then you went to the back again, and found yourself up in second.
Yeah, it was up and down night. Okay qualifying and trying to survive is kind of what you got to do here. Yeah, I played a different strategy than the lead group, just trying to be off sequence with them. Kind of got me up in the front for a bit, and decided I didn't want to run myself out of time up there, so As it was just a lot of back to front and surviving and little dings and dents along the way, but got up to a podium. I mean, I that last lap, I felt like I got chopped by the O2. I really didn't mean to hit him in there, but it just kind of happened. So I will happily take P2. I feel bad that Tate and others got collected up in it, but just is what it is.
Alrighty, man. Well, you got any shout outs here before you go? I'm trying to get through them pretty quick tonight.
Yeah, for sure. You guys, first of all, I appreciate you guys doing what you do, especially a night like tonight where it's a little rough. Shout out to Anthony Ludi at 213 Simware. Go get your Simware merch at his website there. All the guys at Pro Edge Racing and Kwame Scott with the good win there, and we'll try to come talk to you guys next time.
Sounds good, man. Congratulations on the second, and good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Second place finisher Ethan Burrell, and now race winner Kwame Scott. David in the booth, you got me?
Yo.
Yeah, man. Take me through your night. You got started on pole, led a lot of laps, and you know, you seemed like you were on a really long strategy there.
Yeah, I was afraid to pit just because I know, race was a caution fest, so I just didn't want to just even take the chance. Even if I did have better tires, I didn't want to take the chance of being back there and getting involved in the wreck. So,
take me through the move on the win.
Well, Damien before that had already, put me and my teammate in a bad situation, and yeah, so I was a little unhappy about that. Now the intent wasn't. It probably looks bad on the replay, but Damien, he blocks me, and at that point I was pretty bent on that I was gonna move him up the racetrack, but and I broke at my normal point, and yeah, I couldn't really tell where I was going either, like because he was sideways, and so like I don't know, we just ended up on the curb, and I pushed him up the track. It looked a little excessive, which it might have been, like maybe a little bit, but either way, I'm pretty sure Damien would have done the same if he was in my shoes. So,
all right, man. You're gonna be the points leader now going forward, and with 3 wins in the bank, are you kind of looking at maybe this being your year?
Yeah, I mean it's looking like it. Got last year I wasn't really able to really competing for top tens like that. To actually be winning these races now is pretty cool. So I mean, and from the looks of it, yeah, I think I have a pretty good shot of, winning the whole thing. So I think that's definitely a goal for me this season.
All right, man. Well, you got any shout outs for us before we send you off tonight?
Yeah, boys back home, my sponsor, HRR, Redmond's Racing. Yeah, pretty much.
Man, well, good luck in a couple of weeks, and have a good night.
Yep, you too. Thanks.
That's the race winner, Kwame Scott. So, a wild night, Dom and Carlos, but one that is blessedly kind of at an end.
Yeah, I know we're not the happiest with how that all transpired, but at the end of the night, I mean, Kwame had his car up there all night long in contention for the win, so can't discredit that. We'll get a little bit of break. We'll get a week to decompress, and we'll come back to Lucas Oil and see if anyone can beat Kwame here in this Xfinity car. He hasn't been beat so far.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 in the Xfinity car, and a night of 22 cautions. Kind of telling me that we were running into it being a driver thing rather than a car thing still. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the broadcaster. For Carlos Acosta, Dom Santina, I am David Westergreen. This has been 3 Wide TV for Belly Up Sports and ERSCA. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.